Hi, everybody. How are you? Welcome to Deborah's Money Journey. Thank you for being here. I am so happy that you're joining me today as I go over my April 2026 budget. Happy April, everybody. Actually, this is April Fool's, right? So let's hope that the whole month is not going to be a laughable experience and that actually this month I'll be able to stay on budget and be able to manage my money properly. I am a cash budgeter. If you're new here, I like to share my budget. I like to talk about things that I do to make money moves. And right now, I'm focusing on my retirement journey, which means saving and investing and bulking up or fully funding my Roth IRA, and also working on goals. Hope that I can inspire someone to do the same thing. Even if you don't do everything I do, at least do something, and that would be maybe start and open up a savings account, open up an investment account, but do something where your money will be working for you because myself, I want to retire in a few years and I want to feel like I have made some progress, especially knowing that I'm a little behind in that area. But enough of that, guys. How's everybody doing? On my way home from work today, it's actually raining. So I think that is an April Fool's kind of thing because what's the saying? April flowers? No. April showers bring May flowers. Well, we had a little rain, even though last week we had a heat wave. So when I tell you, you just don't know from one day to the next what's going to happen with this weather. I am not exaggerating. But yes, it was raining. All right, friends. So for the month of April, I'm going to go over my expenses and then give you an explanation of all of them. And then I will share with you how much money I'm going to need this month. And hopefully that will be doable. All right. So the first category in my budget is my tithe offerings and donations, and that's something I keep private. I just put it there as a placeholder, just so you know I do contribute to those items. All right, mortgage, and that includes my taxes and my insurance, home insurance. So that is $3,700.25. And I already made that payment, so that was the amount I paid. My HOA charges are $355, and then there's a processing fee of $299 to make the payment online. So that's what I paid, $357.99. SoCal Electric, that's my electric bill. It's $165.19. So this is my actual bill that is coming up due. Golden State Water is $48.75. My gas, SoCal Gas, is $43.97. And so I think that includes all of my utilities. I don't have to pay for the trash service, so thank goodness for that. But I do have to pay for those other utilities. Car insurance, I'm paying $163.36, and this one keeps going up. They keep sneaking additional charges on my car insurance. Probably about 4 years, well, not 4 years ago, because I my car is only like 5 years old. But I was paying $125 a month, and now I'm at 163. And I don't know what the difference is. Maybe my zip code, but still, that's a big jump, especially because my car is paid off. So it's unfortunate that things keep rising. Okay, Spectrum Internet is $71.25. My life insurance, $69. And then my cell phones, I'm budgeting $149. Now, I was going to look into lowering my primary cell phone. I just didn't get around to doing that. But I do want to see if I can lower that bill. And I think I can because there are people who have probably the same service I have, and they only pay about, what, $65, $75 a month. So I really need to look into lowering that amount. Okay, so those are my fixed expenses, and I'm expected to spend $4,768.76. So most of these items, I already know what I'm going to pay. They're pretty consistent. Something may go up a little bit here and there, but for the most part, that is what I spend. All right, so let's go to our subscriptions. I have SiriusXM. I have Google memberships for well, let's see. So I have SiriusXM for $7.99. I have Google memberships for $7. Microsoft Office Suite, $9.99, which, that really bothers me. Why are you paying to have Microsoft monthly when you should just be able to buy it and then it's yours? Remember that back in the day? Yeah, that really bothers me, having to pay this every month. Apple Storage, $9.99. And then I have my water service, it's $51.99. So my total subscriptions are $86.96. Now for my water service, I was getting bottles. The bottles were on hold because at one point they had delivered multiple bottles. I don't know what was wrong. They just kept coming delivering bottles. So it took me about 3 to 4 months to use up all the bottles. So I finally have the water service, even though I'm still debating if I'm going to keep this, but we'll see. And actually, I forgot to add a subscription, guys. I forgot to add a subscription. Um, let me add this right quick because this is new. Okay, so actually, got a subscription to Netflix this month, and it's $8. It's the one where you have to watch the commercials. So the other next tier, I think, was like $16 or $17. And hey, I don't mind watching the commercials, okay, guys? I'm cool with that. So that's $8 for the month. Okay. And then now my total subscriptions are $94.96. So that's why I'm thinking of kind of letting the water service go, because then I can use that money to go towards maybe another subscription service. But again, I like the taste of my water in my water dispenser better than the water in my fridge. So that is why I don't want to let it go right now. And right now, it's okay. So let's leave it the way it is. All right, moving on to my variable expenses, guys. So for groceries, I'm going to budget 600. Now, food is going up. Last month, I stayed on my budget, but then because March was a very long month, I ended up needing about another $60 just to make up for my grocery budget. So I ended up spending about $660 for groceries. And you know what? I noticed food is going up even more. Okay, we already knew food prices were going up, but it looks like the prices are going up even higher. And I heard that they probably will continue to rise. So I'm going to leave it at 600, but I know what will help me is to do more meal prepping. And I want to thank Sadie J for sending me like a meal plan tracker where I can keep track of my meals for the week. And then hopefully that will kind of help with some of the costs. And then gas, I had to up this, guys. Have you seen my post about the gas? We're paying about 6.25. I didn't check it yet. I don't know. It may have went up today, but we're paying about $6.25 a gallon for gas. So I believe I had this at about 300 and what was it, $340. So I upped it to 400 because I'm still doing the same amount of driving. And yeah, one tank is getting closer and closer to $100, which is very scary. All right, I'm gonna give myself $100 and then get a car wash for 40 is the budget. Income taxes, guys, income taxes. This is going to be an expensive month. I think this month and next month, but this month because I have to do my taxes, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I spent around that much last year. So I'm hoping that I can, this year will be the same thing or maybe a little less. I don't know yet. I am one of those last minute people. I think because I always have to pay taxes, I don't rush. Why are you rushing when you have to pay, right? There's no need to rush. But anyway, I will do the taxes because I know the 15th will be here soon. And hopefully, fingers crossed, I have enough money. Now, I do have a sinking fund for taxes. So this is not money I'm pulling from my paycheck. I'm transferring it from my sinking fund to pay for those taxes. So that's why I don't, feel like I'm panicking a lot because I have been saving all year for this. And then the income tax prep fee, I'm gonna budget 125. Now, I do my taxes online. I am proud of myself. I do mine online. I probably could get more money back, but I never have any problems. Like they never come after me. So I'm good. I don't want to have any surprise tax bills, guys. So I'm fine doing it online, following the guidance of the program I'm using. Okay. Household supplies, I'll budget $50 for that. Eating out for the month, $200. And actually, that I ended up being a little under in my eating out. I am so proud of myself, people. I have been really sticking to eating better, more salads, more vegetables, more nutritious foods, and my blood pressure is better. So I, feel very happy and motivated that I'm sticking to really being conscious about what I put in my mouth and all the fried foods. I'm not doing that. I'm doing healthy foods, lean meats. And like I said, it has definitely made a difference, even the way I feel after I eat. So actually feel better. So the money that I was saving on eating out, that is what I use to fund the groceries. So in the end, it all kind of worked itself out. So that's what I'm going to continue to do. If I don't use all my eating out money and I find I need that to go towards groceries, that's what I'll do. I do have to go to see my doctor this month. And I did change doctors because when I moved, I didn't want to have to be driving like 60 miles to go to the doctor I had before. So I have a new doctor I'm going to be meeting, and then I have to get blood work. And so each appointment is going to cost me. So I'm going to budget $60 for that. For my monthly giveaway, 50. So the next category is car maintenance battery. But guys, you won't believe this. I just did a video. My very last video was about saving for car maintenance, right? Well, guess what? My battery died. So I go to work one morning, I have everything in the car, getting ready to start my engine, and nothing. And kept trying it, nothing. And so I called my roadside service. They came, I got a jump, it started right away. But it had like a little indicator light on the display. And so the person who gave me the jump told me, make sure you go get a new battery. So my battery was definitely bad. And then I even had like a error message on my display. So I did go and get a battery. I had a friend install it when I went to work, and it was $330. Yikes. Now I have an $18 credit, but I have to return my old battery to where I purchased it. And when I do that, they'll give me $18 back. So I'm going to definitely do that, turn in the old battery. But yeah, I had to get a battery. Who knew? And it was $330. But at least I'm back in business. The car started fine. Everything's good. All right, for seasonal activities, do have plans to go see a musical stage play with a friend of mine. So I'm going to be budgeting $100 for that. And then for my vacation fund, I'm going to add 200. I am trying to save money for my vacation activities for this year. I would like to go on a vacation actually in May. So that is what I'm working on to do a little getaway for May. and then also for my summer vacation, which is the cruise. Okay, so I'm working on that. And then $200 will go for unbudgeted. My grand total, my total variable expenses, $4,955, which is a lot, but again, a lot of this money is coming from sinking funds. The money for my car maintenance is also coming from my sinking fund. So thank God for sinking funds and for those little mini savings accounts that you need for different reasons because they do come in handy. That is why I stress really hard about saving and making sure you have enough money and saving for different categories and, making that a priority so when those things do come up, you don't have to really worry about it because you have the money to take care of it. The next category is debt, so I'm going to send 150 to my Discover card. Sam's is going to get 300. My Wells Fargo credit card 100. I really am on the fence thinking about paying off my Wells Fargo card because again, I've been saying I'm going to pay this off and then I'll charge a little bit on it, then I pay that off. So I really want to kind of pay this off and not use it anymore. So I may do that. I may just go ahead and pay this one off. I think I owe about um, $400. So I think I just want to get it out the way. All right, so $550 for debt. Moving on to my investments. Now, my last video, guys, I did say I want to just put my money in savings and halt investing. And I still want to do that. So I'm not walking away from investing. I'm not doing that. Still investing. I'm just not going to be investing as much as I was doing. And I think I'm just going to sit this money in my savings until the right time to transfer it to, one of my investment accounts. So $600 for investments. And then my Roth, I'm going to send $300 to it. Of course, I'm still working on my retirement binder, saving money for that. So the savings is not going to stop. Okay, so $900 to investments. Then I have my savings account. I'm going to send 200 to my savings and my emergency fund, $100. So my total savings is $300. For my sinking funds, I'm going to send $425 to my savings challenges. And then, of course, sinking funds will get $550 to spread out to all my different categories for the month. You have to put these items in your budget if you want to be successful. So when you're working on your budget, make sure you save a category and save some funds to invest, to put in your savings account and your sinking funds. Now, it all depends on your budget. So don't look at my budget and think that's the amount you need. Look at what you're spending. Of course, you got to pay your bills first. Of course, you got to have food, you got to have gas or what other expenses and pay your debt. But you still need to set aside some money for savings. Very, very important, guys. So for the month of April, I am going to be spending $975 for my sinking funds. That's the total. And then my total budget is 12,450. No, let me start over. $12,543.72. Wow. So $12,000 is going to be a pretty hefty amount. But when I subtract the amounts from my sinking funds, it's still a little more. It's still a little more than what I have been budgeting. Not that much more, but I think we'll be good for this month. And, we'll see what happens. All right, everybody, that's my budget for the month of April. Thank you, everybody, for being here. How did you do with your budget? Are you ready to go for the month? If not, it's certainly not too late. It's the beginning of the month and it's a fresh start. Take care, everybody. I appreciate you all so much. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. I am trying to get to 2,600 subscribers. I would appreciate it if you just hit that subscribe button. And I want to thank you all, and I'll see you again in my next video. Take care.